And it says starting, and we are live. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's a beautiful day. It's Saturday. It is Science Saturday. And as always, I am excited. Today, I'm excited because we have such a fun presentation. As you can see, I'm in Science Saturday Studios, aka my living room. But we have a phenomenal presentation today, and it's going to be so much fun. I am joined today, first of all, sorry, Andres, we're not going to introduce you yet. We have a brand new co-host on Science Saturday. Say hey, Kenny.
Hey, everyone.
So Kenny works with us at the Division of Territorial Parks and Protected Areas, and we are starting a thing called Science Saturday co-hosting. And so this is Kenny's first Science Saturday, and we are going to be co-hosting today. And so now, wait, what was that? That wasn't a drum. Drum roll. We are joined by Andres. Hey, who are you? Where are you? Why are you?
Hi, my name is Andre Michael Glish Hernandez. I'm presenting from Florida right now, though I am a St. John local. Why am I? Well, I'm a citizen scientist, and I'm here to talk to you guys about some of the work we're doing around St. John to try to get you guys to come help us and get involved.
Excellent. That sounds really fun. And so I love the title of your presentation, Unicorn Hunting. And don't worry, guys, I'm prepared. So I am here in my unicorn cape today to talk about unicorn hunting. So I'm going to let you take it over and do your presentation and have minimal interruptions and sound effects, maybe.
Well, let's get a lot of those. Minimal's not nearly enough.
Woo!
All right. So, again, my name is Andre. I am a citizen scientist. I work with the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute, the Eastern Pacific Corridor Alliance, and a few other museums and collection repositories around the United States. I've lived in St. John for about 6 years now, and my scientific diving there has been throughout. Now, the picture here shown, you have myself and my colleague Ellie, and she's holding a little plastic bag. What you can't see in that little bag is there's actually a tiny little fish in there. This was from one of our permitted collections around St. John.
I like that. Permitted. We're legal.
We're legal. We got not only the DPNR permit for collections of very specific fish, but the national park also had let us go into their waters and do some collections as well. So there's actually, if you can see in the bottom left of that little bag, there is a tiny little fish in there called a stargazer. They're going to be the stars of the show today when we get on a few slides in here. So you might be asking yourself, what is a unicorn? We have some possible answers over here to the right. So, Kenny, I'm going to ask you, do you think it's a mythical creature?
I believe when I was younger, yeah.
When you were younger? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Kitty, do we think it's a horse with a horn?
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. So pictured there on number 2, that is a peacock razorfish. He is our nice little fun unicorn there. Awesome. Number 3 there, do we think it's a new species?
Ooh, I think it's that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So actually pictured there is a brand new fish species that me and my colleagues were able to discover over in Mexico. But number 4, a fish that has never been photographed in situ before.
So I love this science word today, in situ. That means like in situation, right?
In its original place or environment.
All right.
So, what do you think the correct answer is?
Well, clearly missing is a parks director and a unicorn cape, but we'll let that one slide. I think that it's all of the above, or number 4.
So, funny enough, it's just number 4. It is a fish that has never been photographed in situ before.
Ooh.
Now, it's a little bit of a fun misnomer. We're going to go over what qualifies a unicorn. So what are the requirements for a fish to be considered a unicorn? So the first thing is it must be a described species. So it cannot be a brand new undescribed fish because we have to know what it is in order to say we got the first ever photo of it.
That makes sense.
It must be a vertebrate. So no jellyfish, no invertebrates here, no squids, octopus, or anything like that. It has to be a fish species.
Okay.
It has to be a fish species. Okay.
It must be a shore fish. So these are fish that are commonly found near or at the shoreline where people can see them without having to get into a submarine or something. So all the really deep sea fish that they're seeing in the rovers and the big submarines, those don't count.
Sorry, Nautilus. No unicorns for you.
It must be verifiable. Now, there's a bunch of different ways to verify these fish. It could either be through fin rate counts, it could be through DNA testing, or it could be that it has just some unique feature that only it has. So a perfect example is this little guy here on the right looking at us through the grains of sand there. That is a short chin stargazer, and he's fairly easy to pick out amongst the stargazers because he has that really short chin and bulbousy eyes. So easy to verify through the photo. The one in the middle, the guy with the pink cheek there, that's actually Sabaji's brachula. He was only identifiable through DNA. So we took a little bit of his fin and sent it in for DNA testing, and we were able to verify exactly who he was. Or, lastly, it's just got to be so well known that we know that's it. So the little viper moray down there at the bottom.
He's cute.
And last, it must be the first published photograph. So the fun thing about unicorns is if you got the first ever photo and you're bragging to all your friends, you go get a tattoo, and then somebody else comes by and says, hey, I have a timestamp from a week before you got it. They just stole your unicorn.
Ah, gasp.
So no, we don't recommend tattoos on unicorn awards. Lastly, it's not listed here, but the unicorn award and classification is only available for fish in the tropical Western Atlantic, which includes St. John.
Oh, okay.
So fish that are found in the Pacific or Indo-Pacific, they just don't count. There's too many unverified records out there. There's people that don't publish their photos in that area. So we don't play with it.
Okay. All right. I like this. This is like rules to the competition. Rules. I like it.
Yeah. So there's a lot of rules to it. So this whole unicorn process was put together by a gentleman named Dr. Benjamin Victor from South Africa. He is the #1 cryptobenthic taxonomist for the tropical Western Atlantic. He's also one of the founders of the Eastern Pacific Corridor Alliance, and he designed this to get people motivated to go find these obscure fish, these fish that nobody see, the fish that haven't quite been, proven that they're actually around or somebody made up something. And he's gotten us all fired up to go find all these cool little fish. Now, when I say little, they can be as small as the tip of your pinky, or some of them have been as big as your hand.
Probably bigger than my hand. Let's put it closer to the camera to pretend.
All right. So here's the big question for everyone. If we already know that a fish exists, why do we need an in situ photo of them? Well, some fish are described from dead bodies found during dredging, bycatch. Sometimes we open up other fish and they fall out of their stomachs. Or in some places in the world, they still use dynamite to blow the fish out of the water. And sometimes they don't come up as pristine as when they were alive.
That happens when you dynamite something, yeah.
The bodies used to describe the fish may look nothing like when they were alive. So I'm going to show you guys a few examples here. So on the left, we have some sand stargazers, some dactyloscopid turdigitatuses. They're preserved. That's my kitchen counter. I needed to really clean up that background.
It looks like a science lab. It's cool.
So they're pickled in a few different solutions there. But they kind of look a little yellow. They don't really look like when they were alive versus the picture to the right, the freshly caught one. That he's just fresh in the bag. He was alive. We know exactly what he looks like. We can see some differences. Depending on how long they've been in our little pickling juice, they may also lose some of those details. Some of their scales might flake off. Some of the colors may get bleached out. And you would never tell that the two fish were the same species. The other thing So on the right here, we have what looks like kind of a line drawing or a 3D generated image of a flagfin stargazer. That fish was described from one holotype or body preserved to prove the fish from a small island in the middle of the Caribbean called Navassa Island. And it was picked up in dredging. So you can see some of the colorations look a little off. It was preserved in formaldehyde, which tends to bleach out the color of the fish. So we really didn't know exactly what this guy looked like until just off of Little St. James in 2021, we found him alive again. Woo! That's the first ever photo of that fish on the right there, the flagfin stargazer.
I bet he was really happy not to be pickled.
Yeah.
He was very happy not to be pickled. He was also very happy to be alive right there because the only way I found him was there was a small scorpion fish trying to eat him.
Oh.
And then like a big brother, I stepped in and said no.
Unicorn award, more important than a meal.
Yeah. Now, here's the crazier thing. Did you guys know that sometimes scientists will describe a brand new fish species and not have anything to prove what they just described?
Interesting.
But that is the case with Luricylus acon out of the Bahamas. It was seen, it was observed, but it was never captured and never got any DNA or anything proven on it. But everyone just took the scientist's word for it that this fish existed. And it was not ever found again until 2022 off of Buck Island. Playing in those little grains of sand, we found this little guy.
And is that Buck Island, St. Thomas?
Buck Island, St. Thomas.
Woo-hoo.
So we were able to not only find the first ever live fish, but we were also able to get the first ever photo. So this is one of my Unicorn Award pictures right there. That's the first photo I ever got of him.
That is very different than the drawing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I mean, look at his fins. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The drawings almost never accurately represent what they're representing, but we're going to get into that later in the slides.
Okay, I'm ready.
So the big question here: why is it important? Well, let's start the Star Wars scroll here. The reason we hunt unicorns is because the data can be derived from species are important. With every unicorn, we're adding valuable data to the scientific arena and discourse. Some questions that may be answered is this a range extension? Is that fish even known from the area in which you found it? What was the water temperature when it was found? We're studying ocean acidification and ocean temperature rising. Is the ocean temperature affecting where these fish are going? What was the moon phase? Are these things more predominantly found when there's a full moon, a new moon, waxing, waning? You never know. Is the species actually more than one, distinguishing itself with minor differences that DNA will have to figure out? A perfect example of that is we actually have a few species we are monitoring around the Virgin Islands that are within a percentage of being brand new endemic species.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Oh, yeah. When that happens, I will give you guys another shout out and we can talk about it. So what habitats can it be found in? Sometimes when we're picking up stuff off of dredging, we pick it up from the seafloor at 200 feet of water. But then sometimes those same fish can be found at the shore break. What was its behavior, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The real thing is there's so much data that can be derived from a photograph and the story behind getting it that people just don't really understand the grasp and depth that it comes with. And I have a few of those stories coming up here when we talk about my unicorns.
Awesome.
So we're going to talk about my unicorns. Each one's going to get its own slide and story. We're going to talk about how cool these things are, where they were found, and how you can go see them yourself. So we'll start with my buddy, the flagfin stargazer. This was actually the second unicorn I ever got.
Ooh.
And like I was saying earlier, there was a small scorpion fish chasing him for a free meal when I was diving along off of Little St. James. This little guy is called the flagfin stargazer because, as you can see right above the back of his head there's a small spike with a flap of skin on it. He's called the flagfin because he actually waves that little dorsal spine around, and it looks like he's waving his little flag, and it's absolutely adorable to watch. These guys can actually be found everywhere from 40 feet deep up to the shore break. I've found these guys everywhere from Hawks Nest Bay over to Hallover Bay and all throughout St. Thomas, St. John, and Pillsbury Sound.
Ooh.
So if anyone out there sees one, please get a photo. Let me know where you found it. I love seeing these little guys. So next we have the dusky-cheeked tonguefish. Now on this one, guys, I want everyone to go ahead and believe that there's a fish in this picture.
I believe.
I believe.
Says
You
the
can
girl
kinda
in the unicorn costume. I believe.
I believe. Down in the left, you can actually see some of his fins showing out from under the sand, and there's 2 black specks of sand that are actually his eyeballs just above that. So these tonguefish, if you want to think about them, they're basically flounder. They're just oval-shaped, teardrop-shaped flounder. And they walk along just under the sand, camouflaging really well. The only way to find them is to rake your fingers through the sand and disturb them enough where they get mad and they walk on a couple of inches and they sit back down again.
Oh.
This was found in about 6 inches of water at Francis Bay over on St. John.
What? That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. You don't even need to go deep to find brand new fish. You just have to look.
And rake your fingers through the sand.
Yes.
Yeah, there's, they build some sand castles. You get lucky sometimes. Now, the Antillean clingfish, Tomicodon rhabdotus. This was my first ever unicorn.
Ooh. He looks like
So
maybe he knows it.
Oh, he knows it. He was like, oh no, I've been found. So this little guy is a type of fish called a clingfish. Clingfish you'll actually generally find hiding under rocks. So in order to find him, I had to go flipping rocks. So when I say rocks, I mean thousands of rocks to finally find him clinging under one of the rocks and staring at me. The funny story with this guy was as soon as I flipped over the rock, we caught eyes. He kind of looked around to where he wanted to run, and my sleeve was his best option. So I actually had him run inside my shirt. And then, like, if you've ever had a bat or a cockroach in your hair, that's kind of the dance I did.
Oh.
So clingfish, there's a bunch of different species we have around the Virgin Islands, and they can be easily found by very slowly and carefully turning over these smooth rocks you see. There's several beaches that have rock formations like this. You have Hallover Bay, you have Monty Bay. There's also on St. John, you have Jumbie, and there's also some of these rocks at Hawks Nest that can be found. Now, a word of warning, you want to be very careful when flipping over rocks because there's other things that live there that use that for special protection and hiding. You don't want to flip over a rock and submit starfish to getting eaten by a little wrasse or anything.
So last month we were in the shallows in front of UVI going out to Range Key, and we learned about some other, actually quite a few creatures who live under the rocks. So Science Saturday watchers, if you missed last month, go check it out. But one of those was a fireworm, and flipping over a rock, finding a fireworm could make you have a bad day. So, good word of advice though. Carefully turn over rocks. Don't go Hulk smashing.
All right. Now, we talked about this little guy earlier, the Lorichylis acon, the smooth lip stargazer.
Ooh.
So, a fun little side story. So you're going to see a bunch of stargazers in my unicorn collection. So the Smithsonian community has actually dubbed me Dr. Dactyloscopid, or Dr. Dak, because I've developed the techniques to find these little guys hidden under the sand. And the only reason they keep me around is because I can find these little guys.
I bet that's not the only reason.
Yeah, that can't be
Just the most fun.
I also tell a mean dad joke or two. So these little guys are again found by disturbing the sand, much like you would find that tonguefish. You have to disturb them just enough to hop up on the sand, and they'll sit there for about half a second, look at you like, how dare you? You have the audacity to disturb me. And then they will bury themselves back into the sand. And they camouflage fairly well, as you can see from this photo.
Yeah. Also, that is sand, and so, like, the size of lost words. That guy's little.
Oh, yeah.
Is what
You
I was
probably-
trying to blubber out.
You have probably stepped on them without realizing, because these guys are at every major beach in the Virgin Islands that has that nice, clean sand.
Oh, yeah, that's very.
So
That's really
those grains
cool.
of sand around him, he's probably about 2 centimeters long.
And your camera's just zooming in to take these?
Yes, so I actually have a magnifying glass that I glue onto the front of my camera, and it allows me to take these really up close and personal photos.
Awesome.
And I say glue because I didn't take care of my camera. It used to screw on, but now it doesn't.
I love these names, Smooth Lip.
Oh yeah, the people who come up with the fish names, they have a convention every year and go, okay, what's the silliest name we can give something?
It's like that in bird names.
Well, don't get me started on the birds. All right, so we have here, this is the letter opener cusk eel, the Ophidian nokomis. There's a few funny things with this guy. So this was found at Hallover Bay in the middle of the day, which was fairly uncommon because these are nocturnal fish.
Oh.
I just happened to be swimming by, and he, I guess, came out to yawn and try to run away, but I caught eyes with him. So when you watch all those Nat Geo films and you watch the Nautilus cameras when they go down to the depths, and they find usually a whale carcass, if it's not the giant isopods cleaning away the bones of that whale, it's usually the cusk eels.
Oh.
Now, these are their cousins. They're slightly smaller and less carnivorous. And they generally tend to hang out at night, and the only way to find them is by using a red light. So, fun fish fact, most fish cannot perceive red light. That is because as light passes through water, you tend to lose the color red. Mm-hmm. Then you go deeper, you lose yellow, you go a little bit deeper, you lose orange, and everything goes to a blue scale. So most fish don't even care to develop the ability to see red. Some fish do, but most fish, it's just kind of this weird light that hits them and they can't see it. It's kind of like Close Encounters with the Fifth Kind or whatever. So we go looking for these guys with red lights at night. That way we can sneak up on them and they don't instantly run away because they hate yellow light. So this guy being out during the middle of the day was a little weird, but I was able to not only get this photo of him, this one's a baby, freshly settled larva is what we like to call them.
Oh.
He unfortunately was too small to take a fin clipping, so he went on an extended vacation to the Smithsonian, where he can still be visited today.
I was going to say, how extended? Sounds like a horror story.
Almost transparent, this picture.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So how little is this guy?
He is about half the size of this guy.
Ooh, so like less than a centimeter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
And he was as big as he could get to actually start living in the sand.
That is insane. That's like my pinky nail width.
Yeah.
And those of you who know me in person know that is very small.
So
That
it
is
absolutely
crazy.
helps when you're unicorn hunting to be a golden retriever. So as soon as you see a squirrel, you run at it. Now, we saw this photo earlier. This is our short-chin stargazer, the Dactyloscopus poyi. You can see the grains of sand there, even the little rocks. So this guy was found at Francis Bay, right at the shore break. And this is actually a cropped-in photo because there's somebody's foot just to the right of where I cropped this photo. They were actually stepping on it as I was trying to take a picture of it.
Oh, no.
And let me tell you, most beachgoers are kind of worried when there's a guy in full scuba gear playing around where the waves are breaking. The amount of times people tap me on the shoulder and they go, "Do I need to leave? Is everything okay?"
Oh, no, do I need to leave?
Yeah.
If somebody took a picture of that, is that a unicorn? First photo of you, 6-inch diver?
Unfortunately, somebody got that back in the Jacques Cousteau days, so they wouldn't get it. But they could try.
Okay.
If you get a photo of me in the wild, that's not a unicorn. That's an unfortunate accident. You should delete that photo.
Yeah.
But so this little guy, as you can see, he's got the short chin, the big telescoping eyes. I don't have a good picture of it to share with y'all, but those the big bulbousy eyes, he can actually extend those on stalks so that when he's hidden under the sand, kind of like a submarine's periscope, he can put his eyes up and look around.
Whoa. That's crazy.
It is crazy to see in person, especially because that's usually the easiest way to find them without disturbing the sand is just look for two little eyeballs popping up and looking around like a mantis shrimp.
Wow.
We have his cousin, the Dactyloscopus crustus, the big eye stargazer. So these guys, as you can see, that's my hand in the background. I had to hand model myself while I was getting his photo. He's slightly bigger. He's actually about 2 inches long.
Oh.
So they come in all different shapes, sizes, temperaments, personalities. This one was particularly grumpy with me because it took me about 5 minutes to finally get in position where I could get this photo, and he kept having to pose, and he was like, I'm going to my trailer.
Yeah. Talent.
If you can see, he's got these tiny, gnashy little teeth. To be 100% honest with you, if he was any bigger than a couple of inches, I'm not sure I would get in the water.
Yeah.
These guys, just like the last few stargazers I showed you, they can be found at most of the beaches here in St. John. They've also can be found at Megan's Bay, Brewers Bay, and Secret Harbor on St. Thomas, if you guys want to take a look around there. Now, for our St. Croix viewers, these are also all over St. Croix. Me and my team were recently at the Frederickstead Pier where we found a few different ones of this species, the crustuses. We also found a few of the other sand stargazers, the Tridigitatus, up at Cane Bay. So they're around everywhere. Mm-hmm. You just got to get really lucky, and you got to be really okay with playing in sand.
So that's really interesting. A lot of these unicorns, it's not that the species is rare. It's just that nobody has ever gotten that documentation.
That's exactly it. So a lot of these fish, personal anecdote here, back when I first started getting into the ocean and scuba diving and having fun, if it wasn't as big as a shark, it didn't exist to me. It actually took 2 very patient mentors of mine to show me that there are things smaller than your pinky that are well worth seeing out there in the water. So they're understudied species. They're not, they're not the quote unquote sexy fish like the mandarin fish or a manta ray. So there's not a lot of people that go out there specifically looking for them. That's why we have the unicorn awards.
Right. Huh. It's really cool.
All right. Are you guys ready for your fun activity to try at home?
Yes.
I am.
I'm so ready.
So as we saw earlier, there are some fish out there that all we have of them is line drawings or old pictures that people drew themselves thinking they were artists, real Michelangelos. Here we have a few of those pictures, and credited are the people that described the fish or where the line drawing came from. So funny enough, these are all unicorns that we have found. Me and the team of cryptobenthic fish finders here. These are all found unicorns, but these were the hand drawings we had to go off of to find them. And as we saw earlier, they can look fairly different from the hand drawing.
Yeah.
So what I'm challenging everybody watching today is I want you guys to pick one of these fish pictured here, and I want you to draw me, or if you're really good at computers, give me a 3D rendering of what you think this fish is going to look like in real life. Ooh. And next Saturday, I'm going to give Kitty the actual photos for these fish.
Okay.
So we can compare them.
Yes.
Okay. Man. Well, then I'm not going to make any comments because I don't want anybody cheating. Not that my comments are helpful at all. Okay. We're looking at it. The top middle, his little nose, he looks kind of like a bat, fox, eel, pipefish.
So that is actually a type of pipefish. So if you want to think about them in relative terms, think about a flat seahorse.
Okay.
Oh.
Cool. All right. Okay, Science Saturday viewers, today and those of you watching later, we're going to come up with what we think these fish look like. I'm going to need my artistic friends to help out with this.
If you need some help or you need some references, there's actually a great fish ID resource that me and my team donate to that you can go use. It's called Fishes of the Greater Caribbean. It's put together by the ex-president of the Tropical Research Institute, Dr. Ross Robertson. It is an absolutely free resource. It has a website. There's an iPhone and an Android app that's free to download and use. We highly recommend everyone use these because it works not only here in the Caribbean, but if you are ever visiting the Pacific, there's also a Pacific version of this app and resource.
Awesome.
All right. Tools,
All right.
resources.
Say what?
I love the tools and the resources.
Oh, yeah. I want you guys to give me the best photos because then, if one's really cool, maybe I'll go get it tattooed with one of the unicorns or something. Now, the big takeaways from today, guys, is there's fish everywhere. And it's our job to not only go out and find them, but to document them to help scientists get all the data they can so we can have more resources to talk to people in power to try to protect not only our oceans, but the fish that live there. Cool.
That is really cool. So, thank you so much. This has been really fun. I have so many questions, but everything was really, really cool, and I really appreciate it. So I
have some time for some questions if you have any.
Ooh, so I think, oh man, Kenny, do you have any final questions for Andres while I get my brain together?
Yeah, how often do you go out to find unicorns?
Every single day.
Every day. Wow.
So for those of you that are familiar with St. John, there's low-key water sports where I work. So every day I'm on the water showing people the underwater world. And if I'm not working, I'm out there on the boat fun diving, or I'm going from shore somewhere, or I'm doing the dreaded editing of photos at home before I go back out for another night dive.
Cool. So what's the next unicorn in your sights?
I have several. That's actually the reason we're here in Florida. There's a few stargazers here that no one's found that my fingers crossed, I'm hoping I can find. But here in the local St. John, St. Thomas area, there are actually quite a few deep water nocturnal species we're looking for around at night. So if you're ever looking out over the bays and you see what looks like lightning underwater, that's probably me and my team out there having fun.
Excellent. So within the unicorn hunting world, would you consider it friendly competition or a little bit more cutthroat?
Yeah.
It is not only friendly, we will help you find one yourself, and we might even help you take the photo.
Excellent. I love it.
A perfect example of that, I'll go back to the Antillean clingfish. So there was a friend of mine. I had been telling everyone I really wanted a unicorn award. It was my biggest dream in life as soon as I heard about them. A friend of mine told me he had a lead on one. And he not only took me to the bay where I could find it, he was helping me flip rocks. And unfortunately, I was the one that flipped the right rock, and I got the photo first.
Oh, how fun.
So it is not cutthroat at all. In fact, if you think you might have a lead on a unicorn, we'll help you get it. As soon as we have one unicorn, we're happy with that, and we want to find all the fish because we want our fish counts to go up. Most of us keep a life list of how many fish and which fish we've taken photos of. So the more unicorns we can find, the more we can add to that list.
Nice. Excellent. So how do you know what unicorns? Like, is there a list? Like, is there how?
There's a few different ways you can make that happen. So if you go to the website for the Fishes of the Greater Caribbean and the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute app, you can scroll through the fish in your area, and you'll notice the ones that don't have any live photos. That's one easy way to catalog there. We've been asking them for a unicorn button for a while now, so hopefully they'll update that soon. Another way is if you are out taking pictures, it can even be with your iPhone in one of those little camera bags. It doesn't need to be a perfect, high-quality photo. There's a bunch of resources on Facebook, like there's the Tropical Western Atlantic Fish Washers group. There's a bunch of different fish ID groups and apps out there. And there's a lot of the experts that troll those groups looking for new fish. So if you just post it, even if you're not happy with the photo, you want to know what a fish is, please put it in those groups. Everyone wants to answer, and they want to be right with their fish knowledge. And if no one knows what it is, they'll bump it up to someone who does, and you might have the unicorn.
Woo! Oh, super cool. All right.
And when you're taking the photo of a unicorn, does the quality of the photo matter at any point, or does, can it just be?
So back to this, it must be verifiable. So the photo has to be at least minimum quality to say that this is this fish.
Okay. Sweet.
So none like
I'll give you an example. There are some unicorn pictures out there that are fuzzy, but because the colors were right, they were awarded.
Oh, okay.
And when you say by awarded, like this is probably like, just have.
Oh, there's a whole secret society. There's a handshake. I can't talk about it here. I'll be disowned.
Man. Yeah, sounds great.
Right.
But what happens is Dr. Benjamin Victor, once he gets wind of it, he will verify it. He has all of the different catalogs and peer-reviewed journals to go through. He has his own library of fish. And if he can conclude that you actually did get a unicorn, he will post it on every fish ID and ithacology group out there, shouting your heralds that you got a unicorn award. And every now and again, we all get together, do phone calls, and share each other's work.
That's really cool.
That's really cool. So our next goals for all of our Science Saturday viewers as well as us, one, we're going to get, so just to put it out there, Kenny's new to St. Croix, moved down to work for the park system. And we're going to get him dive certified. But until then, I think you're going to be searching the shallow waters.
Go through the sand.
Yep, we're going to go through the sand. We'll do that on our next team field trip.
I want videos.
We're going to have to find a camera that we can take with us. Parks team, remind me, we're going to bring cameras when we go on our snorkel on Wednesday. All right, Andres, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. I am so appreciative of an excuse to wear my unicorn cape on a beautiful Saturday morning. We look forward to getting the photographs of the fish next week. And to everyone who joined us today, thank you so much, as always, for joining us on a beautiful Science Saturday morning. Get out there, enjoy the ocean, enjoy the fish, enjoy the sand, enjoy whatever you're doing. I will see you guys next month. I don't know where, I don't know with who, because Chantel is in charge of scheduling everything. But everyone have a beautiful week, and we will see you soon. Bye.
See you.
Bye.